It was raining the night it happened. Not heavy rain, just steady enough to blur streetlights and make everything look distorted. I left work around 10:45 p.m. Underground parking garage, level B2. Same spot I park in every day. The garage is secure, keycard access only, cameras at every entrance. I remember unlocking my car remotely from about 20 feet away. The headlights flashed once. Normal. I got in the driver's seat, shut the door, and locked it automatically. Started the engine, adjusted the radio. Everything felt normal. Until I noticed the seat. It was slightly farther back than usual. I always keep it positioned the same way. I'm particular about that. But that night, my knees weren't as close to the steering wheel. I adjusted it forward, told myself maybe I had moved it earlier without thinking. I pulled out of the parking spot and headed toward the exit ramp. That's when I noticed something else. The rearview mirror was angled differently, lower, pointed slightly toward the back seat. I adjusted it back up. My heart started beating a little faster, but I kept driving. Rain streaked across the windshield. The garage exit gate lifted slowly as I approached. I turned onto the street, drove about 2 blocks. And then I heard it, a soft shift from behind me. Not loud, just subtle, like someone adjusting their weight. I froze. My eyes slowly moved toward the rearview mirror. The back seat was dark. The streetlights barely reached inside. I didn't see anything at first. Then I saw something move, low, near the floor. My chest tightened instantly. I pulled over under the next streetlight, heart pounding. I turned around slowly. The back seat looked empty. Floor looked clear. No bags, no movement. I swallowed. Maybe it was something sliding in the trunk. Maybe my gym bag shifted. I forced myself to breathe, turned back forward. And that's when I heard it clearly. A slow inhale from the back seat. My entire body went cold. I didn't turn around immediately. I didn't want to confirm it. I kept my eyes forward, hands gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles hurt. Another inhale, closer. Then, a whisper. "You forgot to check." My vision blurred for a second. I slammed the car into park, whipped around. The back seat was empty, completely empty. I opened the door immediately, stepped out into the rain, opened the back passenger door. Nothing. No one inside. I checked the trunk. Empty. I stood there in the rain, heart racing, trying to make sense of it. Then I noticed something small. The rear passenger door lock indicator. It was in the unlocked position. I always lock all doors when I start the engine, automatically, every time. But that one was unlocked. I got back inside slowly, locked all doors manually, drove again. Every second felt stretched. Every shadow outside looked wrong. I kept checking the mirror. Nothing. I pulled into my apartment complex about 10 minutes later, parked near the entrance under bright lights. Sat there for a moment, breathing heavily. Then I heard it again, this time clearer, from directly behind my seat. "You forgot." I didn't hesitate. I opened my door and jumped out, rain soaking through my shirt. I opened every door again, checked under the seats. Nothing. No person, no movement. But then I saw something that made my stomach drop. The back seat headrest. It was slightly raised, higher than normal, like someone had adjusted it. And I never touched that headrest. Ever. I stepped back slowly, then my phone buzzed. Motion detected. Parking garage. The notification was from the security app for my workplace. I hadn't opened it, but it auto-notifies for unusual activity. I opened the clip. Timestamp, 10:43 p.m., 2 minutes before I entered my car. The footage showed my car parked in its spot, empty garage aisle. Then, the back passenger door slowly opened. No one visible stepping out, just the door opening, then closing. My heart slammed against my ribs. I replayed it. The door clearly open, but no figure was visible entering or exiting. The camera angle should have captured someone, but it didn't. I checked the next clip. 10:44 p.m. The interior dome light of my car turned on, then off. Then the headlights flashed, like someone inside had pressed the unlock button. But I wasn't there yet. I arrived at 10:45. The footage showed something happening inside my car before I reached it. I felt dizzy, like the ground wasn't stable. Then my phone buzzed again. Unknown number, text message. You should always check the back seat. And that's when something tapped the inside of my rear windshield, from inside the car. The tap came again, soft, from inside the car, on the rear windshield. I was standing outside in the rain, all 4 doors open, no one inside, but the sound came from within. Tap, tap, slow, measured, like someone testing the glass with their fingernail. My heart felt like it was going to explode. I stepped backwards slowly. The interior of the car was dark except for the faint glow of the dashboard. Then the dome light flicked on by itself. I froze. The back seat was illuminated. Empty. Completely empty. But the headrest behind the driver's seat moved. Not a big movement, just a slight adjustment downward, like someone resting their head against it. I couldn't breathe. The dome light flicked off. I stood there in the rain, staring at the car like it was something alive. My phone buzzed again. New text. You're standing too far. My hands were shaking violently now. I looked around the parking lot, empty. No one watching from balconies, no cars idling nearby, nothing. I picked up my phone and dialed 911. As it rang, I heard the driver's side door slowly close on its own. I hadn't touched it. The other doors remained open. The 911 operator answered. "There's someone in my car," I said, voice trembling. "Are you inside the vehicle?" she asked. "No, but something is." Even as I said it, I knew how insane that sounded. I watched as the back passenger door began to close, slowly, deliberately, until it clicked shut. Only the trunk remained open. The operator asked for my location. As I gave it, I heard something new, from inside the car, a soft exhale. Fog began forming on the inside of the rear windshield. Condensation, like someone breathing against the glass. The fog slowly spread, and then words appeared, finger-drawn, from the inside. Check. My knees nearly gave out. The operator was still speaking. Officers were on the way, but I couldn't stop staring at the windshield. The fog thickened. Then a second word appeared beneath it. Again. My brain felt like it was breaking. I forced myself forward, step by step, toward the trunk, because something inside me knew. That's where I hadn't looked properly. I had opened it earlier, but I hadn't lifted the floor panel. I hadn't checked the spare tire compartment. I reached the trunk, rain dripping from my hair into my eyes. I grabbed the trunk lid and lifted it higher. The interior was dark. I pulled out my flashlight, shone it inside. Empty. Then I lifted the floor panel. The spare tire compartment was shallow, no room for a person. But something was there. A phone. Not mine. Different case. Screen cracked slightly in the corner. I stared at it. It was powered on. Recording. The red dot blinking on the screen. Recording video from inside my trunk. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. The phone vibrated in my hand. New outgoing message from my number. "You finally checked." I dropped it because my phone was still in my other hand. How could that message send? Police sirens grew louder in the distance. The phone in the trunk lit up again. Camera app still open. It switched to playback automatically. The screen showed footage from earlier. 10:43 p.m. The trunk was open, and someone climbed inside. Not a shadow, not invisible. Clear, wearing dark clothes, face partially hidden by a hood. They looked directly into the trunk camera and smiled, then pulled the trunk lid down. The footage cut. My entire body felt numb. The police pulled in seconds later, lights flashing. Officers rushed toward me. They searched the car thoroughly. Back seat, under seats, trunk, spare tire well. The phone was still there. They examined it, the footage, the messages, the condensation on the glass. The words had faded by then, but faint streak marks remained, like someone had written them, from the inside. They checked the parking garage footage from my office. The clip I saw of the door opening earlier? Corrupted, unavailable. They checked my apartment complex cameras. Nothing showed anyone following my car. Nothing showed anyone getting out when I parked. According to every camera, I drove home alone. They kept the phone as evidence, tried to trace it. Burner device, unregistered. No fingerprints besides mine on the trunk handle. No sign of forced entry. No explanation for how someone could have hidden inside or left without being seen. I didn't drive that car again. Sold it 2 weeks later. Bought a new one. Different color, different plate. I check the back seat every time now. Every single time. I check under it. I check the trunk. I check the spare tire compartment. I check twice. And sometimes, when I close the trunk and walk toward the driver's seat, I hear it. A soft shift from behind me. And last week, as I parked outside my apartment, the dome light flicked on by itself, and the rear windshield fogged slightly, just enough to see one word appear from the inside. Better. This was Midnight Whispers. If you think you're driving alone, check again.